Luka's Kids, it's Luka's Kids, it's Luka's Kids.
Howdy, boys and girls. Welcome to another exciting episode of Luka's Kids. And today I thought we'd take a look at something different. We've been looking at a bunch of race cars, and I'm going to switch it up with a model kit that I purchased a while back. I actually got a couple, but I've really never really taken a look at it, so we're doing this together. It's the old repop that Stevens International put out a while back through AMT of a Ford Interceptor police car. I believe this is a, I hope I'm not going to be wrong on this. I believe it's a 1970 Galaxy. Could be a 69, 70. I'm sure you guys are going to let me know. I'm going to say it's a 69. I know my Ford Galaxy's fairly good, but it gets a little muddy in the early 70s for me. Yes, let's go with the 1969 Ford Galaxy Police Interceptor with the 429 Boss. And, let's dive into this kit and take a look at it. I'm looking forward to this myself. And of course, we're going to start out with the instructions. And does it say what year it is? Boy, I am so sorry for being car dumb here today. But again, I'm going with 1969. Oh, something's dropping out here. Oh, I found some police decals falling out. We'll get to that later. Pretty basic layout on the instructions. You get a whole parts rundown. This kit was an annual back in 1969, let's say. And of course, model kits were fairly simple, not a huge parts count, but this one looks like it's got some very good potential. I'm already seeing. One thing is in the chassis area, it looks like we got stuff that's separate. We got a separate chassis plate, nothing molded on, but as you can see, and we'll look at the part here in a little bit, it looks like the whole rear suspension, exhaust, everything, drive shaft all molded together. Pretty decent engine. Got your cop options. So, pretty basic instructions. Moving right along. And we'll start with the body. And like I said, I haven't checked this out, so everything's pretty sealed up still. So I'm going to unseal just for you. Ooh, there, except for this. Let's get this. There's the glass. I'm going to keep that in its package so it stays protected. This is my way of opening. Keep all fingers and toes out of the way, children, and slice that sucker open. And there's the body, all revealed. Wow. Ooh, I think I want to build this right now, but I got a Chevelle to finish. Your typical Ford big car from back in the late 60s. I have to say, for the back in the day, man, that looks pretty accurate to me. I owned a 67 four-door Galaxy. And I love that car. It was pretty cool. This reminds me a lot of it. We got another bag in there full of parts that we got to open. Do it the same way. Pretty simple, but start with your chassis here. You got your old screw-in type promo days. You know, the front suspension's very basic, but I like how you got a nice clear floor, not all that molded in exhaust. I can't stand molded in exhaust. That annoys me. I can live with everything else. Molded in exhaust trips me out. But, you know, it depends on how far you want to go with this kit. There's other models out there, more up-to-date Galaxy type frames and stuff you could probably use if you wanted to kit bash and build a more accurate cop car or just a 69 Galaxy. This is good enough for me. I think it'll make a nice model. Not every model has to be super accurate and fully detailed. You'd lose your mind if that's every model you build. I think this would be a real easy, quick build and make a really good looking model. And I think they did well. For back in those days, this was pretty good. It's still good to these standards, I think. Basic interior tub. It's got nice engraving of the door panels. Something you don't see a lot. Cool bench seat. Got a front bench seat. That's neat. And here we go again with the molded suspension and exhaust system all one piece. And it's pretty basic, but it's an okay representation. Again, something you could update with another rear end. You might be able to cut the exhaust off from here. And you got a split right there if you wanted to go with the factory exhaust. A lot of different directions you could go. Or just use these with the old metal axles and you have yourself a nice display model. You got your engine here, all your basic parts for the engine. It's a little bit simplified, but it's a good representation of an old big Ford engine. Again, not super detailed, not 100% accurate, but I think you could make this work really well, especially again having a nice display model. So as with AMT, their Ford steel wheels are always really cool. These are kind of a little bit more deep dish. They almost look like stock car wheels from those days, but you could do some really cool stuff with those, whether using them in this model or you might find some different, more accurate, thinner wheels to do a more proper cop car. But these are pretty cool, and we'll see a little later. You've got your little dog dish poverty caps, as I always like to call them. That my old boss Dennis always called them poverty caps. White letter tires, poverty caps, steel wheels. Yeah, that makes a Ridge Runner. There's the firewall. There's this wood. I think you can put that on as a push bar for the front. There's a shotgun to put in the car, racks, speakers, different of the day cop parts, and the basic firewall with all your engraved and already put in there the master cylinder kind of molded on there. Pretty cool dashboard. I remember the Galaxies having that kind of dashboard. It's a good representation. Fairly accurate. You got some engravings of the old long rectangle speedometers that were popular in late 60s, early 70s. And your buttons and knobs. No radio. Yeah, it's a cop car. You don't need a radio. In its own little separate bag, I find in the bag the steering wheel. That's a good old big Ford Galaxy steering wheel. That's something I remember about my old 67 Galaxy. I love the original steering wheel. I'm sawing that thing as I'm going through the country roads when I lived in the South. Chrome tree bagged. I'm going to see if we can look at this without me unbagging this right now. And it's pretty basic. You got a nice grill, you know, the molded and headlights of the day, but the grill and all that looks really nice. Let's flip it around this way so we can look at it properly. So you got your grill and your rear bumper where your tail lights go. And here are those poverty caps or mini dish or whatever you like to call them that are so synonymous with old cop cars, black wheel caps. Even up into the day, it's kind of funny. Come to think of it, you know, my daughter, she drives a little more modern version of this car. She has an '06 Crown Victoria police car. It was a Arizona Department of Safety, which is our highway patrol. It's a really neat car, and she has the black steel wheels and these little chrome caps that go on it. It gives it that cop car look. And when she's driving down the highway, everybody gets out of the way and slows down. It's kind of funny. She's got the push guard and all that. You got your Boss, pretty nice, typical in a lot of kits, but your Boss valve covers, antenna, a few other parts. They work for all your police Interceptor items you would have in a typical cop car of the day. And here you got your red and blues in the package with the tires. Pretty decent looking tires. This is not what would have come in the kit years ago. I think these are a little more modernized as far as quality, a modernization of the tire of the day. It's a Firestone that would have been on these cars back then. For that deep wheel, this is kind of like the tire and the wheel don't really match. You could put bigger tires on this or find a thinner dish wheel to use with this cop car, but you know, you'd have to play around, find the right wheel that the poverty caps will work and these tires would work. But you know, that was kind of a common thing. Always these police car, you even found it in the old MPC Dodge Monaco or Fury 2 cop car, that the wheels seem to be a little bit deeper than what would actually have been on the cars in the day. Last, we got our metal axles and our screws to put the chassis up into the body. And there's different ways you can go with that. It all depends on how you feel. If you need to get rid of those screw holes in the bottom and you just pop that. I haven't built this, so I don't know, but I'm sure you could get that chassis up in there without screwing it in. It's all how you want to build your model. I think I would just do that because, like I said, I build this car. I'm going to just do it out of the box and make a nice static model that sits there and looks real good. Oh yeah, and there's another quick look of the police decals that came with the kit. These seem to be rub-on because there's a little thing that protects. I don't know if that's... I think we got rub-on decals. It looks like City of Troy. You'd do a City of Troy cop car with this one. So this depicts a Troy, Michigan police car. But I know in the aftermarket world there's tons of police car decals you can get. I found a set of proper late 60s Phoenix police car decals. And back in those days, Phoenix had like a cream color they used on their cop cars. I always liked those. I like the old Phoenix police cars of the day, and that's what I'm going to do with this one myself. I didn't really show the whole box art, so we'll do that here at the end of the video. What the heck. On the side, you know, it's that typical old school AMT, MPC artwork that they would do, is showing you all the extra stuff that the kit came with. And on the other side, just has a little, you know, shot, you know, painting of the car, forward shot of the car, because there's a rear shot of the car on the front and on the sides. So just don't mess with us or we'll sue you stuff right here. Not sure if that's the original box art. I'm assuming it is. I don't remember ever seeing these cars in the original form. I've always seen the reissues that kept coming out. Yeah, if you get a chance to find this car, and I know that this model isn't out in the stores anymore, but if you get a chance to see it in a swap meet, pick it up. If you like old cop cars, like big old Fords, which are two things I really like. So you've seen the kit, and you know what it looks like on the inside, so I hope that helps you out if you ever want to grab it. Now you know what you got, and if you see one sealed, which is always the way to go, if you find them sealed, you know everything's in there. You know what's inside because you watched my video. And I thank you for watching my video, and always watch my videos, because if you don't, I'm going to find you, and I'm going to be knocking on your door. So, thanks again. Come back next time, and we'll see you in the next video.